What's up, everybody? It's LaVar Arrington here, bringing you another exciting edition of Up On Game Presents Keeping Pace with Skill. We're at my man Angelo's spot in Harrisburg, downtown Harrisburg, PA. Zimbies. Did I get it right? I did get it right. Zimbies is a Washington football team, now known as the Commanders, centralized bar here in the heart of Harrisburg. So shouts out to them for having us here for today's edition. And today's edition has a special guest. I have Lorraine Rosenberg with me from Progressive Amusements. All right, now Progressive Amusements is your husband's, dad's, sisters, cousins, brothers, nephews, right? No. So
my
it's a family.
Father, right?
It's a family
Started the business, right?
And you guys have been rooted in this community for how many years?
40-something.
40-something,
yeah.
Which is a long time.
Yeah, I don't want to give away my age.
All right, we don't want to give away your age. So a conversation, a wonderful thing that we experienced during the course of today was we went to the American Legion 733, and we had a great time there. And you came up to me. I was in the corner. I was having a moment, and you came up to me and you just started stating to me the importance of certain things that need to be known that aren't talked about as it applies to skill games.
Yes.
And I found it to be very interesting. So first, let's start there. Why are skill games so important to you? Let's just start with you.
First of all, I'm sorry I accosted you to talk about skill
No,
games.
no,
I am
no.
so passionate.
It's all right.
For
I
those that
enjoy
don't
it.
know, he was sitting there. I just woke him up and I said, you need to listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, PA skill games are manufactured in Pennsylvania. So those that live in the great state of Pennsylvania, the factory is in Williamsport. So it's Pennsylvania jobs. People are also employed. We have Anthony, who is our sales guy. He has a family, and he delivers equipment and sells equipment, so it's his employment too. So I am passionate because they're made in PA, and it supports PA jobs. Mm-hmm. In addition, the main company, Mealy Manufacturing, which produces the games, gives a lot of money to charity. Mm-hmm. As you saw today, they graciously gave the American Legion a large,
substantial amount
of check.
Yes.
Pace-O-Matic works with them with the software and other areas. But PA Skill basically has saved the amusement industry. The amusement industry can consist of pool games, jukeboxes, dart games, pinball machines, cranes. Since the computer industry has come out, those games are not as popular. People aren't going out to play pinball or listen to music as much as they used to. Mm-hmm. Skill games are games of skill, and they are forms of entertainment. The difference, as I told you before, a game of skill has no random number generator, mm-hmm. which is very important. So you can win all the stuffed animals every time, or you can win nothing. There is no number deciding how much you get based on how many times you play. A true gambling machine has a random number generator. So if $1,000 goes in, they can program the machine that 2%, 5%, 20% will go out. Skill games are in small businesses. People go to play skill games to have some fun. It does require some hand-eye coordination, which, even though we're in the industry, I have yet to win because I am not very good with the hand-eye coordination. A lot of skill games are in small businesses, and it's through the pandemic especially has helped small businesses keep their doors open. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, and one of the reasons that you came to the Legion is the not-for-profits use the skill games to generate money. People forget when a not-for-profit gives a scholarship,
so a charity.
gives a meal, a charity, right? I'm sorry.
Non-profit. Yeah. No, you're right. You're all right. You're all right.
A charity.
Just making sure I keep everybody up on where, yeah.
People forget charities can only give money if they take money in. So as you saw, the 733 American Legion, which is near and dear to my heart, gives food to people in need. They give children the Toys for Tots event during the holidays. They help veterans that maybe became homeless and need money for rent for a month or two, especially during the pandemic. The way that money comes in, it's not federally funded. Okay. It comes in through donations and fundraising. So PA Skill in a lot of the charities, not-for-profits, 501Cs, if you want to be technical, count on PA Skill to keep themselves
As
in
a
business.
fundraiser.
Right, as a fundraiser.
Right, okay.
And especially the Veterans Associations, especially during the pandemic, they didn't have a place to go and congregate and support each other. A lot of them have been through horrible times, and they come back, and during the pandemic, they had nowhere to go, nobody to talk. Social services was not engaging as much because they either didn't have the people, they had outbreaks for whatever reason. And the PA Skill Games helped keep some of those places afloat. And the veterans especially need our support because, like I said, there's only so much money to go around, and the clubs are not funded by the government.
I was blown away by all the things that the commander spoke on today and touched on about what the skill games provide for them and what they're able to do. And it just further drove home the point for me that if you don't have the ability to impact your community, I mean, your community doesn't just get better magically. It takes resources to be able to improve it. And I just started thinking about my own childhood. Like, these are the guys that were my Little League coaches. These were the guys that were making sure that I was doing right when I was growing up, because I come from a military family as well, in a military community. Listening to that put even a more perspective on the smaller companies, the smaller businesses. But when you think about, okay, you have former people, men and women of service that are doing these things, and they're leveraging skill games to do those things. It leads to the conversation of, you try to figure out why there's such this hard line approach to trying to take those skill games out of these communal places that are generating those funds to be able to actually put back. And there's no question of integrity. So from your perspective, when you look at the small businesses that are using these skill games to generate and produce, to be able to give back to the community, and heck, to even just chase the American dream of maybe getting ahead, why do you think there's such a hard line approach to getting skill games out of small businesses?
I think, one, there's a lack of knowledge. People just don't know. There's been press that calls it gambling machines, or talks about, there was some horrible stuff in the news about kids are playing it. First of all, no one under 18 is allowed to play a skill game. And they're in stores, just like stores sell cigarettes. I mean, they're not supposed to sell cigarettes to minors. Skill games are not for children to be playing, and that's monitored by the stores and the parents. So I think there's that. I think that there's a misconception that they're gambling games and that the casinos should be regulating them, but there is no random number generator. So we can go weeks. Just because you have a skill game doesn't mean you're going to win a lot of money. Doesn't mean that a place is going to get a lot of money.
Right.
So I think there's a misunderstanding because they have video gaming kind of effect, and people can't necessarily distinguish. And I think that there's people that just don't want to see little businesses succeed. I think there's that. And I think, just like anything, when you're so far at the top, sometimes you don't realize how things are at the bottom. It's kind of like, I'm going to give you my banana story. We want to give a banana to everybody in the country.
Okay.
How are you going to do that? One, what are you going to do about the people that are allergic? How are you going to get it to the people that live in the rural area? How are you going to get it to the people that are in apartment areas? How are you going to get it to the people where there are no roads? How are you going to get it to the people where the elevators are out? And I think the person planning this doesn't necessarily think about the logistics. And if they knew the logistics of a small business, that you don't have this high credit line, that you can't get the huge supplies like the convenience stores. I'm not a big box store, so maybe I'm only ordering 5 cases and you only got a shipment of 20. Well, my business is not your priority, so then the convenience stores don't get it. So I think a lot of people don't know how the bottom functions to make things work.
Check the check.
Yeah.
month to month.
Yeah.
So anything that can help your small business bring in and generate revenue should be welcomed,
Right.
especially considering it's legal. You generate income, you pay taxes on it.
Correct.
Okay, that seems pretty simple.
Right.
Okay.
And it's tracked. We have MCM Elements, which is developed by the software people. And this wonderful woman, Jen Marchese, is very instrumental in helping you if you have computer issues, which I have had, so I know Jen really well.
Right.
And so the machine, you take a picture of it, a QRS code, and it goes into the system. So if somebody audited us, say a machine, people put in $100 and $50 was won. So that leaves a $50 profit. 20% goes to the main company to pay their expenses, their people like Anthony delivering the equipment, their technical people, all of these other people. And then the rest is split. The company, if it's not for profit, would have that money left over. If it's a for-profit company, they would make $40 and we would make $40. Then when Lorraine and Alan of Progressive Amusements files their joint taxes, we list $40, and whatever our tax rate is, we pay income tax, state tax, city tax, and an amusement tax on that money.
So you pay taxes. So you're generating revenue and you're paying taxes.
Right.
Wow, I mean, seems pretty simple to me.
I agree. And the bar owner here, he's going to pay taxes on his end of the profit. Mm-hmm. He has to employ people, so he has employment taxes, he has all these bills, and whatever money he makes, he's declaring as income. So he's paying state taxes, restaurant taxes, whatever taxes his industry. Mm-hmm. So yes, so we are generating money for Pennsylvania as well because we are paying a lot of taxes, along with Pennsylvania jobs because they are manufactured in Pennsylvania.
I like that. You are so knowledgeable and so passionate. Where does your passion come from? Because I think sometimes when there are interviews that take place, people are like, oh, that was manufactured. That's not genuine. That doesn't come from a real place. Tell me, why are you so passionate about what skill games represent to the small business?
I'm passionate for two reasons. One, I am a registered nurse. I have a bachelor's in nursing. And I spent, as I told you before, a lot of time in hospice. And I will tell you, nobody on their deathbed ever said to me, I wish I had more shoes, I wish I had a better job. It's all about relationships. And we had a saying in hospice, you get a start date and an end date. And it's what you do with your dash in between that matters. So that made me passionate just about helping others. With the skill games, the industry was declining, and my husband's family had started this. But more important, the 733 Club was near and dear to my heart. My father was a veteran, and he passed away at 90. And when he would come into town, the people at the 733 Club treated him like family. And the last time that my father was visiting me in Harrisburg and was alive, I was out with one of the managers from the club, and they treated my father like family. And because and my mother, but my father was a veteran, so, and they listened to his stories.
Of course.
You treat my parents like family, I'm going to treat you like family. Mm-hmm. So I became very passionate about making sure that there was what they needed, whether it be Toys for Tots and shopping, or getting the bicycles, or the Mother's Day event, or if somebody passed, they would gather for what was called a repast, making sure they had the money to recognize this person's life. And then during the pandemic, because we work with so many small companies, because we're relatively small compared to a lot of companies, seeing the effect it had on their lives. And you get to see these people struggling just like anybody else, with children, with spouses, with boyfriends and girlfriends. They're just like you and me, and you see how much they needed and how hard things were for them and how hard they were trying to just take care of their kids or help their elderly mother or grandma. I developed a passion of seeing what these games could do. And during the pandemic, we helped a lot of people because not everybody could get what they needed. I mean, you can ask my husband. I was running hand sanitizer, gloves, everything. Every single machine had hand sanitizer by it. We were spraying Lysol, keeping everybody safe. But the people and their children and their babies. They wanted a good life for themselves, and also the community depended on them. If you close all these convenience stores, you will have a food desert in Harrisburg. If you noticed in the short time you were here, or maybe you were here longer, I don't know, that there's no huge supermarkets because it's an inner city and retail space is expensive and all the costs of opening up a huge chain. So it's the mom and pop shops. And people don't realize how hard it is for the mom and pop shops to survive. They can't get the products for the massive discounts that a big box company can. So in order to make it, if these stores shut, you will have food deserts in these communities. And so skill games are very important in small inner city communities that don't have supermarkets or other places to shop.
It's amazing stuff. It's Lorraine Rosenberg, Progressive Amusements.
Yes.
Make sure you check out Progressive Amusements and the properties that they have skill games in. Pennsylvania Skill. Check it out. Man, it's been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
How did you like it? How did you feel? You felt good?
I'm very passionate about it, so it was very easy for me to talk about it. Thanks so much.
I love it. And this will conclude another edition of Up On Game Presents, Keeping Pace with Skill. All right? Make sure you stay tuned in. Check out the YouTube channel. And yes, you can check out the podcast channel as well, wherever it is that you download your podcast. All right? I'm LaVar Arrington. It's been real. We're going to keep it going. All right? Till next time. Talk to you soon.